My experience invading Russia was a difficult but valuable lesson in the realities of warfare and strategy. By learning from my mistakes and experiences, future invasions can be more successful and less costly in terms of lives and resources. As someone who experienced the challenges and realities of invading Russia firsthand, I understand the importance of careful planning and preparation before launching a military campaign. Invading Russia is not a task that should be taken lightly, and any general planning such an endeavor must consider several critical factors to ensure the success of their campaign. Logistics is a critical aspect of any military campaign, and this is especially true when it comes to invading Russia. The vast distances and harsh terrain of Russia make logistics particularly challenging, and it is essential to consider these factors when planning the campaign. The general must ensure that there is a robust and reliable supply chain in place to provide food, ammunition, and medical supplies to the troops. Additionally, the general must consider the weather conditions and ensure that the army has adequate clothing and shelter to protect against the harsh winter conditions. Communication is another vital aspect of any military campaign, and it's particularly critical when invading Russia. The vast distances and challenging terrain make it difficult to maintain effective communication between different parts of the army. The general must ensure that there are effective communication channels in place, including messenger systems, signal flags, and other means of communication. Additionally, the general must ensure that there are adequate maps and navigational tools to help the troops navigate the challenging terrain. Leadership is also a critical factor in the success of any military campaign, and it is particularly essential when invading Russia. The general must ensure that they have a clear chain of command in place, and that each soldier understands their role and responsibilities. Additionally, the general must lead by example and be willing to make difficult decisions when necessary. The general must also be aware of the morale of the troops and take steps to ensure that they are motivated and inspired. Having experienced the challenges of invading Russia firsthand, I can attest to the critical importance of careful planning and preparation. As a general planning such a campaign, there are several key mistakes that you should avoid. One of the most significant mistakes I made during my invasion was underestimating the impact of the Russian winter and the harsh terrain. The Russian army employed a scorched earth tactic, burning fields and destroying crops as they retreated, depriving my army of food and supplies. Additionally, the harsh winter weather was a significant factor that led to the loss of many of my soldiers. To avoid this mistake, a general planning a campaign should carefully consider the weather conditions and ensure that the army has adequate clothing and shelter to protect against the harsh winter conditions. Another critical mistake I made during my invasion was failing to appreciate the cultural differences between the French and Russian people. I did not take the time to understand the values, customs, and traditions of the Russian people, which led to widespread opposition and resistance. To avoid this mistake, a general planning an invasion should take the time to study the culture and traditions of the Russian people, and use this knowledge to build alliances and mitigate conflict. Morale, strategy, and tactics are essential components of any successful military campaign, and the invasion of Russia is no exception. As a general, it is critical to understand how to maintain the morale of your troops, formulate effective strategies, and implement tactical measures that can help you achieve your goals. In this section of the guide, I will share my experiences and insights on these aspects of the campaign. In conclusion, invading Russia is a challenging task that requires careful planning and preparation. Any general planning such a campaign must consider logistics, communication, and leadership to ensure the success of their mission.